Everybody's process is different. Everybody's progress is different. Everybody, they're on a different plan. You know, God has got all of us on a different growth plan, right? And so I like to bake. Something that y'all don't know about me is I like to bake. I've always liked to bake. And so even when I was a teenager at home, I would always be baking stuff. And we had a bread maker, right? And I would always make bread. I like to make homemade pizza. So I would make the dough in the bread maker and then make the pizza. And so that was like my thing. And actually my mom, she blessed my life when she gave me that same bread maker that I used to use back in the day. She gave it to me last year. And man, bring some bread to work one day. Okay, Kanisha, I got you. I'm going to do it. It's good too. Homemade bread is great if you've never had it. So I like to bake, and I would bake all different kind of things. I would bake bread. I like to bake homemade cookies too. You know, how many of y'all like cookies, right? Who doesn't like cookies? So I would bake homemade cookies. But how many of y'all know that the process for baking bread is different for the process than baking cookies? Now you have ingredients for both of them. But for bread, you have to put yeast in it. And then when you make bread, usually it's about a 3-hour process, 2 or 3 hour process. Hey, Destiny, what's up? And you have to let bread rise. You mix all the ingredients, and then you have to actually just leave it alone for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and it rises, and that's how you get the nice fluffiness of the bread. So it actually takes maybe a whole process of 3 hours for bread to be made from start to finish. And for cookies, you know, you mix all the ingredients, you put them in the pan, put them in the oven, boom, they're done. So maybe it's under an hour. Hey, Pastor Edoras, how you doing? And so it's a different process to bake cookies than it is to bake bread. And you know, the Lord was hitting me with the revelation this morning that everybody's process is different. And if your process looks more like bread and you're looking at people's process who looks more like cookies, their process may look fast and your process may look slow. But here's the difference. A cookie and a piece of bread doesn't occupy the same space. It isn't utilized for the same thing. You don't make a sandwich with 2 pieces of cookies, right? And also, if you need something sweet, you're looking for dessert, you know, you don't grab a piece of white bread. That's not how it goes. And so everybody's process looks different. Everybody's process is not the same. Hey, how you doing? Because everybody's destiny and purpose is not the same. And so everybody's process is going to be different. And something that I have had to learn is just because your progress doesn't look like someone else's progress doesn't mean that it's not progress. Did you get that? Just because your progress doesn't look like somebody else's progress doesn't mean that it's not progress. You might be on the plan where you're more like bread and you got to rise. You got to take time for the yeast to be able to be activated to make that bread exactly what it needs to be. Have you ever had bread that didn't have the time to rise? I've actually made bread before where the yeast was bad, and since the yeast was bad, it wasn't active anymore, and therefore the bread came out, instead of being like this big, the bread came out like this, and it was nasty. It was hard. It was like, I don't want this. What is it? Throw that away right now. And it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. And that was because I tried to abort the process. If you abort the process, that's exactly what it's going to look like for you. And so cookies, hey, they take a lot, they're a lot quicker, a lot easier to bake. But bread is a different process. Everybody's going through a different process. So I just want to let you know, your progress and your process is your process. We all have a different purpose, absolutely. And so everybody's process couldn't look the same because everybody's purpose is not the same. Everybody's destiny is not the same. So I'm here to tell you, don't use other people to monitor and gauge your own progress. Now, I know that we can be inspired by people. I'm inspired by people all the time. You like to take ideas maybe that someone else is doing, or somebody else prompts you for your own idea. But I'm here to tell you that it's dangerous to measure your own progress with others' progress, and that's the only standard of measurement you ever use. Because sometimes, you have all of this social media, you have access to all of this other stuff out here, and it can make you feel like, if you're not careful, it can make you feel like you're never doing enough, like you're not going fast enough, you're not growing quick enough. and I'm in ministry, so it can make me feel like my youth ministry isn't growing quick enough, or maybe we're not doing enough, or maybe we're not reaching enough people. And so for you, you might be in business or just another area, and it can make you feel like maybe you're not saying things the best way. Maybe you're not researching enough. Maybe you're not getting enough degrees and certification. Maybe you're not reaching enough people. Maybe you're not this or that, and it can make you get into that trap of comparison. And that's the danger. And when I found out that I could live this life free of trying to compare myself with other pastors and youth pastors and ministers, and I can live life that is free of comparison, and I just stay in my lane, and I just don't compare my process and my progress with other people's process and progresses, it set me free. I'm here to tell you that it'll set you free too. And so just because your process doesn't look like somebody else's process, or your progress doesn't look like somebody else's progress, doesn't mean it's not progress, okay? So just be careful out there, because, when you start comparing yourself with other people, it could try to bring you down. It could try to make you feel bad and make you feel negative. So what do I do? This is personally what I do. I always ask myself 2 questions. Am I being obedient to God? And am I open to what God is trying to do? That's it. And if I could say yes to both of those questions, that I'm being obedient to what God has told me to do as a minister, and I'm being open to the things that God is trying to show me, then that's the only thing I need to do. I don't need to compare myself with this person, that person. I don't need to compare myself with this ministry on Instagram. I don't need to do any of that, because all of that stuff can be used as a trap, if I'm not careful, to make me feel bad about what I'm not doing or the results I may not be seeing. And I don't need that. You don't need that either. So that's my quick word for you. Hopefully that encouraged you. And just know that the best is yet to come. And everybody's process is different. Just think, cookies and bread. Everybody's process is different. Hey, you're almost at 1 million hearts. Thank you so much, Destiny. I am. It's all because of people like you. So I want to thank you guys for all of your love and all of your encouragement. Yes, it did. Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for just all of your all the encouragement. Yeah. You guys stick with it, and you guys are awesome. And so you guys continue to encourage your brother. And so that's why I do it. So thank you so much. If you missed some of this, go watch the replay. It's not long on purpose, but make sure that you don't get caught in the comparison trap, comparing your stuff and your progress, your success with others. I know in some industries, you have to compare. Maybe in sports industries, in the sporting arena, is very comparison based. You have one winner, you have one person at the top, and so you want to do your best, but just know everybody's process is different. Bread and cookies, everybody's process is different. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Jordan is trying to give you all the hearts. Oh, thanks, Jordan. I really appreciate it. All the hearts. Thank you. And so, yeah, we're almost at 1 million. You guys are awesome. We're doing it. And so share this with somebody else. Please share it. You can share on Facebook, Twitter. You can share with your followers. I believe it'll encourage somebody else, because, hey, we all need encouragement. Thanks.